Welcome to The Explainer. Today we are digging into a huge puzzle in global health. I mean, how can two of the world's most advanced nations have health outcomes that are just worlds apart?
Let's just jump right in, because when you actually look at the data, the difference we're talking about, it's not just a little gap. It's a huge, staggering divide. So first up, let's look at the most basic thing, right? How long do people live? And would you believe it, we're talking about an 8-year gap. An entire 8 years. And what's really crazy is that this gap, it's actually getting wider. Okay, now this is where it gets really wild. Look at the sheer scale of this difference. You've got over 40% in the US and then under 5% in Japan. I mean, that's not just a difference, that's a chasm. And you have to wonder, could this be the key to the whole thing? So that's the big question we're tackling, right? Could this one single factor, this absolutely massive gap in obesity rates, be the main engine driving this whole mystery? All right, let's follow the thread and see how this one major difference kind of cascades, how it leads to some of the most serious health problems that affect millions and millions of people. And wow, the connection here is pretty much impossible to ignore. Type 2 diabetes, way higher in the US, and heart disease. It's the #1 killer in America, while Japan has some of the lowest rates in the entire developed world. The pattern is crystal clear. Where you see high obesity, you see these chronic diseases right alongside it. But to really get why this is happening, we need to zoom way in. We're going to go from the huge national level, looking at millions of people, all the way down to the tiny neural level. We're going inside the brain. Okay, so let's get into a really cool piece of our own biology. It's called the OVLT. You can think of it as your body's own internal sensor, kind of like a chief hydration officer. And what's so neat is that its protective barrier, the blood-brain barrier, is a little bit weaker right there, which allows it to literally taste your blood to check if everything's in balance, especially when it comes to salt. So here's the key thing to get. This is an ancient, totally automatic system. It's this beautiful, precise feedback loop that's hardwired into us to keep our internal world stable. You don't have to think about it at all. Your brain just takes care of it. And that brings us right to the core of the problem. What happens when this incredibly fine-tuned system, something that evolved over thousands and thousands of years, suddenly slams into a modern world that is basically designed to push all its buttons all the time? Okay, so let's zoom back out. Let's compare what you might call the food architecture of Japan and the US. Because, what we eat isn't just about personal choice, right? It's so heavily shaped by the world around us. And this just lays it out so perfectly. You've got two cultures that have built completely different defaults for what you eat every day. On one side, you have a diet that just naturally works with your body's systems. And on the other, a world of ultra-processed, super calorie-dense foods, all in gigantic portions. This number, 80%, it stands for a really powerful cultural idea in Japan called hara hachibu. It basically means you eat until you're about 80% full. It's this gentle, built-in reminder to stop before you're totally stuffed. And this isn't some crazy diet, it's just a normal cultural practice. It's built-in portion control. But see, the American food environment does more than just offer you more calories. It's smarter than that. It actually uses neuroscience to hijack your brain and make you crave them. So it's really not about a lack of willpower. It's about your brain's ancient wiring going up against some very modern food science. And this is exactly why that salty plus sweet combo is so potent. It's almost diabolical, really. It basically confuses the heck out of your brain's sensors. The salt and the sweet kind of cancel each other out, so your natural, okay, I'm full now signal just gets bypassed. And what happens? You just keep eating. All right, let's flip to the other side of the energy equation now. We've talked about what goes in. Now let's talk about what goes out, our activity level. Because our health is also massively shaped by a simple question. Does our environment encourage us to move, or does it kind of force us to sit still? And the key difference here is whether your physical activity is intentional or just incidental. In a place like Tokyo, walking is just what you do to get from point A to point B. It's built into your day. But in a lot of American suburbs, the whole environment has been designed in a way that pretty much engineers physical activity out of daily life. You have to go out of your way to move. So, when we talk about all this, it's really important to see that it's not about blaming people. It's about seeing these powerful, almost invisible forces at play. Our food systems, the way our cities are designed, you can think of it all as a kind of metabolic architecture that is quietly shaping our health every single day on a massive scale. So let's put all these pieces together. Let's connect the dots. Because when you see the whole picture, it becomes so much clearer why that simple advice we always hear, eat less, move more, why it just falls flat for so many people. I mean, when you lay it all out like this, the whole story changes, doesn't it? This isn't a crisis of personal failure or a lack of willpower. It's a structural problem. It's a systems problem. It's about how our food is engineered, how our cities are built, what our culture celebrates, and even what food is cheapest. So, after all that, what's the big takeaway here? What's the ultimate lesson from this really striking comparison? And honestly, this might be the most hopeful and important part of the whole story. What this comparison proves is that this isn't about genetics, it's not destiny. Japan shows us that a wealthy, modern society can have amazing population health. And that's empowering because it means the problem is solvable. You can't change your genes, but you absolutely can change your environment. And that's really the question we're left with, isn't it? It's not a question of biology anymore. It's a question of design, of priorities. If our environment is the architect of our health, what's the first brick we should change?